happy people? It's Tracy Reed here today, coming at you with Christmas Eve in the Reed household. And unfortunately, this story is a little sad and a little bit of a miracle. If you follow me on Instagram, you will know that on Christmas Eve we had to rush our kitty to the pet emergency room. He was having trouble breathing, and it turned out he was in total heart failure. They basically did the whole ER, rush him back to the vet area to put him on oxygen. He was so bad off, and we were told that he was not going to survive the night, most likely. And if he did survive the night, then he was not going to survive much longer than the night. His long-term prognosis was not good. So I had a really fitful night, Christmas Eve, and then when I called on Christmas Eve afternoon before we were supposed to go get him, we were told that he had made a miraculous recovery overnight. Obviously, he still has heart disease. He's still a sick cat now, sick elderly cat, but he is alive and he is home with us. And so I decided to do a page, of course, about our actual Christmas Eve and how it was spent. So I am creating a pocket. You can see that I used one of my 6x8 papers, the one that says Home for the Holidays, which totally means something different in context of this story. We got him home on Christmas, and so it was perfect. And I've been waiting to use that paper this entire month, and now I know why, because I was waiting for Loki to come home for the holidays. So I created a fold in the paper and wrapped it around the back of this paper. And I'm going to use my tape runner to seal the pocket. And then I'm going to take my journaling up there that says Our Christmas Miracle, the tag, and then also the bill for saving the life of a cat. And I'm going to put it in the pocket. I think the bill is important for posterity as well because it was quite large. And of course, I don't mind paying that to save the life of one of my children, basically. But I think it's kind of important to include those kind of things in your scrapbooking as well. So on the back of that Our Christmas Miracle card, I showed it to you. Oh, there it is. It says Loki pulled a Grinch and his heart grew 3 sizes. And I included his x-rays, which I didn't want to have just like front and center on the layout because obviously they're not an awesome thing to look at, but I did end up getting his chest x-rays in the email before I made this layout, and I thought it was kind of perfect to also include those for posterity as well. But you know, if you know anything about me and the products that I design and my whole life outlook, you'll know that I deal with everything with a healthy dose of snark and sarcasm. So I dealt with those scary pictures with some snark and sarcasm, and I think I could only do that because he survived. Obviously, if he had not made it through, I would be looking at these photos, or those photos wouldn't exist, but I would be looking at this whole situation a little bit differently and telling a different story in my December daily. So I have this tag that I created way back in November using Catherine Pooler's stamps and inks, and I finally found a place to use it. I honestly struggle a little bit with the sentiment that says all I want for Christmas is you, because I mean, I already have all the people I want for Christmas, right? And I can't really say that all I want for Christmas is some sort of toy or gadget or whatever. So I always struggle to actually use that sentiment, but this was perfect for it, obviously. I have this card that says all roads lead home for Christmas, as well as this being present is the best present of all. The Being Present one is from my Stay Home collection. The All Roads Lead Home is from Kristen Cronenbarrow. And I wanted to use them both, even though it does feel a touch repetitive to have two quote cards on one layout. I just felt like they both fit so well that I wanted to have them both in here. So I did include them both. I'm going to create a little collage cluster on the back of this folder that I created. And I have this 25, and I haven't been numbering my spreads. I know that I've talked about that a couple times. I don't number my spreads always in December Daily, but he did come home on Christmas, so I thought including the 25 was a perfect way to incorporate that ephemera, and I was going to use the house, but I decided to use the car instead because I took both of these photos in the car. So I like the little idea of the car with the presents driving Loki home, sort of a thing. I really wanted to incorporate that award thing that I made in one of my Advent videos as well, but I did run out of room, and I have so many of those incorporated throughout my whole album that I thought it would be okay to just leave it out this time. And it says Merry Christmas, I love it, so I could probably use it for actual Christmas photos, like the photos around the tree and stuff like that if I want to, but it's okay. Sometimes editing out all of the excess is the key to creating a perfect layout instead of one that just uses all the things, which is my philosophy. I love using all the things. So, I can't just leave photos plain in my albums. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of these plastic pieces that I have. You can see the star right there. I'm kind of auditioning things. I have one that says, well, first I'm going to sneak the rest of this frame in here because I felt like there was some empty space, and I hate not using all of my scraps. I'm just a huge proponent for using up all of the bits and pieces, even the parts that you cut off, so I just had some fun with that frame. Anyway, I'm going to use some acetate pieces on my photos because I didn't want to cover up much of the actual photos, so I'm going to use some clear pieces to add a little bit more to the photos without detracting too much from it. It almost comes off as the equivalent of stamping on your photos, but we all know my struggles with stamping, so I decided to go with acetate instead of stamping. So that one says Holiday Magic, and then I have two like star cluster ones that I'm going to use here. So I'm just stapling them on because adhering clear objects to photos and papers and all of that with tape, you can always see it, and I don't like it. So I'm using the stapler instead. I'm going to continue the stars up this way to cover up the bottom half of this photo of Loki and I, and it will kind of, when I put it back in the pocket, it will kind of, you can see they kind of join together, so they go across the whole spread. And then this one says Love and Joy, which I thought was perfect. So that is all I'm going to do with those, I believe. I'm going to attach some acetate stars to the left-hand side to draw that gold foil effect over as well, and just to kind of add a little bit more to this cluster that isn't a word or a number. And I'm stapling these as well, making sure to staple them to like the card or the envelope rather than through all the way. That way I don't impede the usage of the pocket or anything like that. And then that is it for this layout. If you enjoyed it, I'd love it if you give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. I would love to have you. If you don't already, you can follow me over on Instagram. I'm at Traci M. Reed. I'd love to see you over there as well. And I will see you next time. All right. Thank you.